Welcome and thank you for checking out my review of The Grudge 2020, directed and written by Nicolas Pesce, or Pesce, I don't know, and starring Andrea Riseborough. And this is a remake of the Japanese original, which had two movies, and if I'm not mistaken, the original remake had two movies. I don't believe this one is going to have that. And we follow a single mother and detective who's trying to investigate and solve the case of a house which is cursed by a vengeful ghost that dooms those who enter in it with a violent death. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's January. It's the first release week of the year. And we have a horror movie. Now, the past few years, I have actually been impressed with the two horror movies that we got. Insidious: The Last Key, I thought it was actually alright, and the same thing with Escape Room. But now we're back to the status quo because The Grudge sucks. Let me correct myself, The Grudge is actually hilarious. I believe it's going to be one of the funniest films I will see this entire year at the end of 2020. This film is not even trying. I can count on one hand the attempts at jump scares. Even the cliche, the bad cliche that I expect in a bad horror movie in January, it's not even trying that much to do it. It's very boring. There is an unnecessarily convoluted and complicated way in which they tell the story. There's this ridiculous attempt at fan service midway through the movie that left me scratching my head. The dialogue is very fabricated, very mechanic. When characters speak these lines within the film, there's just no way you don't see these actors dying a little bit on the inside because nobody speaks like it. The Grudge is a very simple story. It's a house that is haunted, and when someone walks in, they start noticing strange things, so they're going to try and investigate. But this film has a detective, and then it has that detective's partner. And then it has that detective's former partner. And then it has the couple that committed the murder and a suicide. So that's a father, a mother, and a child. And then it has the couple that moves in after them. And since the woman is kooky in the head, they have a caretaker for that woman. And they also have the real estate agents who are also a couple and are trying to sell that house to people. So as you can see, there's an unnecessary amount of characters. And so this story happens in 2004, 2005, and 2006. And so we go back and forth to see all these things that happened that will amount to the case that this detective is investigating. And my God, hilarity truly, truly ensues. It feels like this film is one of those that doesn't know how to end a scene. Scenes just end. And then when you go back to those characters, it's like, we're not reacting to that at all. There's this scene with Andrea Riseborough trying to wash her face. So she fills up the sink with water and she dives her face in. She picks up water with her hands. But then a hand shows up behind her and pushes her down the water. She eventually gets free and looks behind her and nothing's there. She breathes heavily for a while and then she's just like, okay, I'm going to wash my face again. There's like a scene with John Cho and he's taking care of this girl who is acting really weird because the parents just aren't showing up in the house. He tries to call them and they're not picking up the phone. And eventually his wife calls him and he goes to talk to her, so he backs off a little bit of the girl. And so she's sitting behind him. He is with his back towards her and this girl starts vomiting blood out her nose, out her eyes, out her mouth, out wherever the fuck else. And then the film cuts to something else for like 30 minutes. And when we come back to this, he's just sitting on the couch opposite this girl. So nothing happened there. This is gonna be one of the most uneventful films I have seen in the past few years. As I've said in the beginning, this film doesn't even try to scare you. It's like, what the fuck am I watching? Why is nothing happening when we got all these stories happening at the same time? Unnecessarily so, but none of them have this interesting thing happen at all. I'm giving the Grudge 2020 an F. It's the first week of January, alright? Now what did you think of the Grudge 2020, my beautiful geekies? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts on the original Japanese one, the original American one, and what is your favorite horror film? Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I'll be back soon in my reviews for Richard Jewell, Little Women, 1917, and maybe other movies that I didn't see in 2019 because I'm fucking European, so they don't care about us. Thank you so much once more. You are the best. So until the next video, don't forget to stay beautiful, stay geeky, and also subscribe and like, because it really helps me out. But most importantly, above everything else, forever and always, love each other and love the movies.